Every day, people that need a drug test walk into clinics and try to cheat. Now, they certainly do this for pre-employment drug tests, but most commonly random drug tests or surprise drug tests. And I think the reason here is obvious. They were caught off guard. Maybe they used something recently and didn't expect to have a test coming up. And they do all kinds of things to try to cheat. Use a friend's urine, use fake urine, try to add something to their urine sample, even go as far as using prosthetic devices like the Whizzinator, and I have done a full video on the history of that particular device. So in this video, let's discuss ways that sample collectors try to prevent cheating. Now, this is not going to be a how to cheat guide. This information is basically to show you that collectors take cheating very seriously. Okay, so let's take it from the moment you walk into the clinic. The first thing that's going to happen is obviously you're going to have to fill out some paperwork while we get the specimen collection containers prepared. And it's after this point that the first deterrent to cheating takes place. We will ask you to remove bulky clothing like heavy jackets. Purses will need to be left behind, bags need to be left behind, and we may even check your pockets or your wallet to make sure that you're not taking anything with you when you give your sample that might be used as an adulterant. And in my opinion, a lot of these steps that we are taking are more like the illusion of having a test that can't be cheated on, kind of like removing your shoes when you go through the airport security. Of course, doing that probably doesn't prevent people actually from hijacking or bombing a plane, but it's the illusion of safety. This step is kind of the illusion of having a test that won't be cheated on. And the next thing that's going to happen is we are going to ask you to wash your hands. We are trying to remove any adulterants that you might have on your hands or under your fingernails. So washing your hands is mandatory before giving your sample. All right, so it is at this point where you will be given the collection cup and then taken to a private bathroom or a private stall. Now, contrary to popular belief, you will typically not be observed. There won't be somebody standing there watching you give your sample. Now, there are certainly exceptions to this. The military may request or require observed tests. Certainly private employers can require or request observed tests. And if you are caught cheating and are having to go through a return to duty process, that might be an observed test as well. And this is the situation that is the reason that we need all of these cheating checks to be put in place. It's because you are going to be in a private room by yourself, and who knows what's going on in that room? Who knows what you've potentially taken in with you, what you're doing in that room? Since we're not actually watching you give your sample, we have to do all of these other cheating checks, basically. All right, so once you are in that room by yourself, there will be a couple of other things that you will notice. Number one, the toilet tank will be taped down. That prevents you from getting in the toilet tank. There's water in the toilet tank. Also, in the toilet itself, there will be a blue dye. So what both of these do is prevent you from being able to take that water and dilute your sample, because dilution is one of the ways that people try to cheat on drug tests. Similarly, if there is a sink in that bathroom, the sink handles will either be removed or they will be taped down so you can't actually run water. And you won't actually be able to wash your hands right after using the bathroom and filling up your collection cup until you return that collection cup back to the collector. All right, so you've collected your sample and you walk out of the bathroom or the stall, the private bathroom or the private stall, with the collection cup in your hand, and you hand it back to the collector. And at that point, the collector is going to go through some checks to make sure that it is a real and valid sample. First thing that they will do is they will look right on the side of the cup. There will be a temperature strip, and the temperature needs to be between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I am in America, so we use Fahrenheit, so 90 to 100 is what they are looking for. And again, that just helps ensure that the urine actually came out of someone's body. Can this be faked? Of course it can, but that's what we do. Next, what we're going to do is look at it. Some even sniff or smell the sample to see if they can detect if there are any adulterants in that particular sample, something that was potentially added while you were in the bathroom. And at that point, if you make it through all of those checks, we will consider it to be a valid sample and we will send it off to the lab where they potentially could do checks on it as well to determine if it is a real and unadulterated sample. So the consequences for getting caught cheating, like if we catch you cheating in some way, you're trying to sneak something in, you're trying to switch out the urine with someone else's urine, whatever, the consequences are, this is considered a refusal to test, which basically has the same penalties as testing positive. So if you're like a safety sensitive employee, you will be immediately removed from whatever duty you are on, and you will potentially, most likely, have to go through the return to duty process where you could actually have to have observed tests performed. Thanks to all the members of this channel, and until next time, everybody, stay safe.